Apple. The knife slipped, pressing too hard against the skin, and nicked the bone in my finger. A sharp sting bloomed, followed by the shrill ring of my phone. "Mr. Vance, your daughter collapsed at preschool. You need to come immediately." The voice was cold, almost robotic. No panic, just urgency, as if reading a line from a well-rehearsed script. I didn't ask any questions. I left the half-cut apple bleeding on the kitchen counter and ran out the door, driving as if my pulse were the ticking of a bomb. When I pulled up, 2 police cruisers were already there. Their lights spun silently, casting color across the glass windows. A female officer approached, her expression unreadable, disturbingly calm. "Mr. Vance," she said softly, "you should step inside, quietly." She offered no further explanation. She didn't have to. I walked to the glass entrance. My hand reached for the door handle, then froze midair, suspended inches from the cold metal. I looked inside and forgot how to breathe. My daughter was lying on the floor, surrounded by paramedics and teachers. Her body was still but breathing. Alive. They said she had suffered a seizure. No clear cause. No warning signs. Unexplained. I stood motionless, watching them load her tiny body into the ambulance. Relief should have rushed in, grief, fear, anything. But instead, I felt nothing. Then I saw her teacher, Miss Dale. And just behind her, him, Nathan. My wife's friend from work. He was pale, hands clenched at his sides, pretending to look concerned. But it wasn't just his presence, it was how Miss Dale wouldn't meet my eyes. How he hovered too close to her. How he shouldn't have been there. I remembered the way he once touched my wife's shoulder too casually. The way she laughed too loudly at his jokes. The way that laughter choked when she caught me watching. I had brushed it off back then. Paranoia, maybe. But not now. Nathan standing outside my daughter's preschool wasn't an accident. And I suddenly realized he wasn't pretending to be part of the family. He already was.
I didn't say a word to him that day.
I followed the ambulance instead, sat beside my wife as she wept silently. She never asked how I knew to come. Never asked what I saw. I watched her closely. Watched the way her fingers clung to her phone. Watched her screen light up with his name while she looked away. That night, while she dozed off in the hospital chair, I took her phone. I copied everything, messages, photos, voicemails. The next morning, I pulled a strand of my daughter's hair and sent it to a private lab. "No, Mr. Vance," the technician told me, voice low and careful. "Your name won't appear on any report. We're completely confidential." Days passed. My daughter recovered. Doctors labeled it stress-induced, though no one could say from what. My wife kept asking if something was wrong. I smiled and said I was just tired. But every night, while she slept beside me, I read the texts. I listened to the voicemails. I heard the lies, the whispered moans, the "I love you" that were never meant for me. And I waited. 5 days later, an envelope arrived at my office. No return address. Just my name, sharp letters in thick black ink. Inside was a single sheet of paper. DNA results. 2 columns. One with my name. One with hers, my daughter's. Probability of paternity. 0%. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I stared at the paper until the letters blurred, until I couldn't tell the difference between truth and betrayal. Then I folded it once.
Twice.
Slid it into my jacket pocket. That evening, she came home late. Said work had been exhausting. I nodded and poured her a glass of wine. Watched her sip it slowly. Then I placed the folded paper on the table. She didn't touch it at first. Just stared. Then slowly she unfolded it. Her hand trembled. Her lips parted. She looked up at me, eyes wide. "I can explain," she whispered. I said nothing. The silence explained everything. I walked to the front door. Opened it. Nathan was standing outside, like I knew he would be. He froze when he saw me. "You should come in," I said. He hesitated, then stepped inside. His eyes darted around nervously. She stood frozen by the table, the paper still in her hand. "What's going on?" he asked. I handed him a second envelope. Same style. Same black ink. Same cruel truth. His results, 0%. She gasped. He turned ghostly white. I stepped back and watched them both unravel. You lied, I said calmly. Both of you. But not just to me. She dropped the paper. Nathan's voice cracked. If she's not mine. I smiled. Cold. She's no one's. They both looked at me, shocked, shattered, terrified. And I walked out. I sat in my car and watched the sunrise. Light poured across the sky. Too bright, too loud. The world moved on. Cars passed, birds chirped. Indifferent. Just like me. She called 10 times that morning. I didn't pick up. Nathan, too. I drove to the preschool and parked outside. Sat there, motionless, and watched the children play. Watched her, my daughter. Not by blood. Not by name.
But somehow still mine.
Or maybe not. Maybe none of it ever was. The truth? It doesn't matter. They lost everything. And me? I lost the illusion. It was enough. Some people spend their lives chasing closure. I didn't chase it. I became it.